Oh, boy, I got a lot of technical difficulties tonight. Just when I thought I had everything together, then it's not working very well tonight. Oh, boy, I tell ya. Anyway, I am glad that you have joined me, okay? Um, I have some great information tonight that I want to share with you guys. Um, and I'm hoping that it's live streaming on Facebook, but the way things are going tonight, I'm not so sure if that's even happening. So I'm hoping that it is. We will see. But if it doesn't, this is this is going to be recorded anyway, so we should be good to go. And I should be able to share this later on YouTube, I hope. That is if it goes well. Um, yeah, I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing it going on to, oh, wait. Here we go. Let's try this again. Oh, no, 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 no. Oops, nope, that didn't work either. Sorry, guys, I apologize. This is not really working like I want to. Technology is great when it works. Let's see, I want this there. And I thought I had this figured out, but we shall see. Right? Maybe, maybe, maybe. And maybe not. Hmm. Well, I'm not really sure if it's gone or not. So we'll just keep going from here anyway. So anyway, hi, my name is Jeannie Gerke, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit tonight about the 8 keys that I have outlined in the book that I wrote. A little over a year ago, on March 23rd of 2018, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had 2 different types of breast cancer even at the same time. So you can imagine there was some turmoil there, and I started doing some natural things and finding some natural things that I felt would help support my body through all the decisions that I was making for traditional Western medicine as well. A lot of the things that I did helped a lot with the side effects that I was experiencing during chemotherapy, or could have experienced, which I luckily did not. So I decided, because it was so difficult to sift through all the different things that were out there, what was fact, what was fiction, what was completely made up, and what things really, really did help. And it took a lot of time sifting through all of those things and trying to find things that were right for me, but not just right for me, but that, would really support my body too. So I decided then that, maybe I should write a book and share some of these things with people so that they can understand too, and be able to benefit from the different things that I have done as well. So that's what I did. And in that book, I penciled out 8 keys that I felt were really, really important to focus on, not just during cancer treatment or times of acute illness, but all the time. These are things that everybody should be looking at and everybody should be focusing on. Some of these things, you can do them out of order. They don't have to be in order. One or two of them might resonate with you more so than the other ones do. So by all means, those are the ones that you would start on. Am I an absolute expert on everything? No. but I can give you some suggestions on what helped me, okay? And some of the things, everybody's different. So some of the things that I may have done or gone about may not be the same exact things that you will do. Okay. Everybody is different. And some things, may resonate with you more so than they do someone else. So just understand that everybody's different. And just because you're not doing the exact same thing that somebody else is doing doesn't mean that it's not good for you. Okay. So we will go through these keys, and the last key that I'm going to share with you is the most important key. And if you ignore all the other ones, this one is the best key that I feel everybody should be following. Okay. So let's take a peek at my PowerPoint. Yay. So the words you never want to hear. Yeah. And these are for everybody, I think. They're words that you don't want to hear. I had really thought that, when I went in, I had found the lump myself, and I had gone in, and I really didn't think there was anything major about it, because I had had, a fibroid lump in the same exact spot like 30 years before. So that's what I figured it was. And I really wasn't all that concerned. But I went in and had everything looked at, and when I went in to see a surgeon, she looked at it, and I said, "Oh, it's no big deal, right?" And she said, "No," she said, "this doesn't look like a cyst. I want to biopsy this." I was like, "Well, okay, all right." And I tried not to get nervous, and tried not to think about it. And by the end of the week, then they called me, and the first words that you hear is, "I'm so sorry to have to tell you this." And I don't think I really paid much attention after that. I don't think I really heard a whole heck of a lot after that. I started to cry, and then I was mad at myself because I was crying. So, nobody's ever prepared to hear words like that. But I want you to know that you have choices, okay? So even if you don't have cancer, or you have a different type of cancer, I think the information within these slides can really help you. That is my hope for you anyway. So, of course, like I said, immediately I started having thoughts, run through my head of, did the cancer spread throughout my body? Oh my gosh, is it in my brain already? Then I had questions like, well, how long have I had this? How could I have cancer when I tried so hard to take care of myself? What did I do that caused this? Was it the years of birth control pills, or using antiperspirants, or was it because I smoked cigarettes for 30 years, even though I had quit for the last 6 years before that? Maybe it was the processed foods, or the skincare products, or, other toxins that I was exposing myself with. I felt completely lost, really, and I was at the mercy of the medical professionals that were before me. Mark Twain once said, "I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened." Keep that in mind, because a lot of the things that were running through my mind never really actually happened. And I was worrying about all of that when it never really happened. Okay. So try and stick with the here and now if you can. And, because you can't change the past, but in order to move forward, you need to keep an open mind. So you have choices. The key to remember is, it's not your fault. It really isn't, because there's so many different things that can be the cause of any disease that's inside the body. All right. Cancer doesn't have just one cause. Many things can contribute to a damaged immune system, and that's basically what it is. Our bodies, in a perfect world, were created to be able to fight off cancer cells or mutating cells, all right? That's its checks and balances. You know, if cells start to become damaged or they go wrong, the immune system jumps in, stops the overgrowth, and stops it from mutating and destroys it so that it doesn't harm the body. That's in a perfect world. With a healthy immune system, you can fight off mutating cells. Sometimes, though, there are different things, various things throughout our lives that can damage that delicate system and damage the immune system so that it's not working like it needs to anymore. The 8 keys to preventing cancer, and basically to help your body run optimally in any occasion or at any time. These keys are: number 1, proactive medical care. Okay, know your doctor and know what's out there and what's available to you and ask questions. Informed self-care, being able to take care of yourself at home without a medical professional telling you what you need to do all the time. Okay, knowing what's right for your body and what's good for your health is important so that you can take care of yourself. Key number 3, reducing that toxic load, because there's many, many toxins out there in the world that can damage that delicate immune system, all right? Eating right is another key. Key 5, exercise. Key 6, supplements. Key 7, rest and stress. And key number 8, which I feel is the most important key, and we will touch on that in just a bit, all right? But these are the 8 keys. You can do these in any order that you wish, because like I said, one might resonate with you more than another one does. One might be more important to you and you feel you need to address it right now before you do anything else. That could be the case. So like I said, everyone is different, and remember that. Just because somebody else is doing something differently or in a different order doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong, okay? So remember back in 1949, maybe some of you weren't born yet. I wasn't quite born yet, but the history is there. Medical professionals were doing ads recommending their favorite brand of tobacco to smoke. When I was a kid, there were still cigarette commercials on TV. There were cigarette ads in magazines and even in kids' magazines as well, okay? But they advertised their favorite brand of tobacco to smoke, telling their patients it was safe to smoke daily. The science has never settled on anything, and that includes treatments as well, okay, and how you take care of your body. So can you imagine, you know, a medical professional today in 2020 telling you these things? Not going to happen, right? Because through the years with scientific research, we have realized that smoking tobacco isn't really good for you, not as good as they thought it was, and that it shouldn't really be recommended to people. But at this time, that was the norm. That's what people said. That's what they advised people to do, okay? And it says here, you know, the doctor is a scientist, a diplomat, and a friendly, sympathetic human being all in one, no matter how long and hard his schedule is. So, you know, they recommended this for relaxation and for de-stressing after a hard day. We know better now. So there was a study that was published by the British Medical Journal. Okay, this happened in 2013. And they studied mammograms, and it involved 90,000 women, and they followed them for 25 years, okay? And their study found that mammograms have absolutely no impact on breast cancer mortality. And this was released in 2013. My own opinion is that for me, I do not want to do mammograms. Okay, I don't want the extra radiation yearly for myself, and I don't like the damage that it can do to your cells as well when they're doing the exam, and because it is very painful and it is very invasive. Okay, so it exposes you to even greater amount, the 3D does, of cancer-causing radiation. They have proven that radiation over time can cause cells to mutate, all right? there are other screening options out there. You know, each have their own strengths and their own weaknesses. You have the right to utilize these options. You know, it is your body, it is your health. Remember that in order to truly avoid breast cancer, or really any type of cancer, you need to focus your attention on actual prevention and not just early detection. Okay? You have to do the best for your immune system that you can before you worry about just early detection. Okay? That is a major part of staying healthy. So I share in my book, you know, what I do for diagnostic testing. But again, like I said, everybody is different, you know, and you have a right to choose what you feel is best for your body. Okay. So part of proactive medical care too is asking your medical care team questions. You have a right to ask questions and get valid answers for those questions. You can ask questions like, well, what are the possible risks and how will the medical team address these adverse consequences? Are these treatments available? Are there other treatments that are available that you cannot provide here? What would you consider doing if you had my disease? What would my course of disease progression be if I choose to do nothing you recommend? What would my survival time be, for example? And, you know, yes, I respect my doctors. I have a lot of respect for them and their education, but I am no longer at their mercy to stay healthy. You know, you need to be empowering yourself and you need to be looking for answers yourself. A doctor cannot possibly be able to keep up with all of the studies that are coming out every single day in any given country on any given practice or disease. It's just not possible for a human being to be able to do that. It's not possible to keep up with all of the new drugs that are coming out and the studies on those as well, the new treatments that are coming out and the studies on those as well. So it's best to be proactive yourself. You know, start finding information. You know, just be careful when you're Googling things though too. And that's what I mean. There's a lot of fiction out there that's tied along with fact too. So that being said, proactive medical care. When you are doing cancer, any kind of chemotherapy can be really, really rough on the veins. Okay, it can actually damage some of them, especially the smaller ones. So the benefits of a port, what they do is they insert a port. It's, you know, about that big around. It's like a little screen, and they insert it underneath the skin, and then they have a tube that goes into the jugular vein, or the main vein that's in your neck. So that vein can handle the chemotherapy drugs a little bit better, okay? And so this makes it easier for blood draws. It makes it easier for anything that needs to be injected as well. Okay, some people will keep a port in for years after they're done with their treatments. Some, like myself, will have them out within a month after you're done with treatments. So this was me in April of 2018 on the left, one day after inserting the port. And then I used essential oils on the area to help repair the skin and help to rejuvenate the skin. And 7 days after inserting the port, this is what my scar looked like. Okay, so we'll discuss reducing the appearance of scars, you know, in the supplement section that comes later. Okay. So along with key number 1, 2 is proactive medical care. There's a new thing out there. Well, I don't know how new, but it was new to me. That's called cold capping. The theory is that if you get the scalp temperature down to 32 degrees, the chemo drugs will not be able to penetrate the hair follicle. Therefore, your hair will not fall out as a result. With the chemo drugs that I had, I would have lost all of my hair, and it probably would only be like about this long right now, because I had some of it cut off in the last year as well. But it wouldn't be very long yet. And I finished my chemo the middle of October in 2018. So what they do is they put a silicone cap on your head. This is just one of the methods, but this one has a silicone cap that has little pathways in there where liquid nitrogen goes through. And that's placed on wet hair on your head. See how I look like a little astronaut there? Then they cover it with a really tight cap that goes underneath your chin, so it holds it tight so you have that contact as close as you possibly can to the scalp so that you can get that scalp temperature down to 32 degrees. Yeah, it's cold. Yeah, it's not so comfortable the first 10 minutes, but for me, it was really worth it. To be able to look in the mirror and not look sick made a huge difference to my ego, and really helped me get through a lot of this. It takes a little while. You have to do it for at least an hour before you start your therapy, and then keep it on for, some of them are 1 hour, this one was 2 hours after your therapy is done. So when I went in for chemo, I would go in at like 8 o'clock in the morning, have my doctor's appointment, and then I would be there until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was a long day, but like I said, for me, it was worth it. You know, you take the cap off and your hair is actually frosty. Like if you would go outside on a cold winter day with wet hair, that's what it was like. But as you can see down on the bottom there, my hair was really thick, and it still is. It's what I have lost is growing back in. April of 2018, before I started, that was my hair, and I had it really long. It was down like the middle of my back, and I had my friend cut it off because I wanted to make sure, that even if I did lose my hair, it wouldn't look so shocking then if it was shorter. And then maybe it wouldn't be so heavy pulling either. And then October 2018, this was taken about a week after I finished my last chemo. I really didn't lose any hair until I started doing the dose dense. And after that first one in September is when my hair started to shed, but it was like all over, just here and there. It would be bits that would come out. But I still had, at least 90% of my hair left. So I was extremely happy about that. You can see how my scalp there on the right was pretty red. It's because it was pretty cold. So you cover up with a lot of blankets and heated blankets and keep yourself warm. So this is one thing that, ask about it. If you would like to try and keep your hair, there are grants out there too that can help you to pay for this as well. And some locations like mine had a personnel that would come and help get it fitted and put it on for me, and then help me take it off when I was done too. So key 2, informed self-care. Regular self-exams, of course, take some time once a month to perform that self-exam. And pay attention to your whole body, not just breast tissue. Pay attention to your whole body. When things are off, pay attention to little things that happen. If there's a lump here or a bump there, be concerned about it, be aware of it, pay attention to it. Don't wear a bra. Bras inhibit the lymph nodes from detoxing the toxins that are going through your body, especially underwire ones. They block all of the flow. So if you feel like it is impossible to get rid of the bra entirely, reduce the hours that you wear one, okay? Women who don't wear a bra have drastically reduced levels of breast cancer diagnosis, believe it or not. So, and of course, don't smoke. Don't believe those old ads from the 1940s. Smoking cigarettes definitely can increase just about every single different type of cancer. So, number 3, reduce your toxic load. There are estrogen disruptors everywhere. Okay. Pay attention to what you clean with. What do you use on your skin? What do you use on your hair? Soap, lotion, detergent, shampoo. All of that stuff goes into your body via the largest organ in your body, which is your skin. And everything that you put on it absorbs into it and can end up in your bloodstream and start tooling around in your body. You know, what do you use for air fresheners? What are you breathing in every day? Pay attention to those things. Here's some different chemicals that you need to avoid, okay? Because they create, your body thinks they are estrogen, or your body thinks that you need more estrogen. So it starts creating more estrogen when it sees these different chemicals. So, and of course, that can end up with different hormone positive cancers as well. And it throws off your entire hormonal system, which basically drives all of your health in every aspect, okay? So avoid these things. You know, key number 4, eat right, whole foods. Some of these things, eat daily, eat those whole foods daily, you know, and there's so many different diets out there, okay? I mean, when I was first diagnosed, all I heard is, you know, well, don't eat meat. And then other ones would say, oh no, meat's okay, just don't eat dairy. And then another one would say, oh, don't eat dairy at all, you know, only eat fruit. Don't eat anything else. And then another one would say, oh, no, don't eat fruit because that's sugar and that's going to turn into cancer. So only eat vegetables. You know, it was just one thing after another, totally opposite, different advice that I was getting from all over the place, you know. So I finally came to a conclusion that whole foods, organic as possible. That's what I do. I know there's some people out there that are strictly vegetarian. If you feel that that's best for you, then do that. The thing I say for everybody, though, is just avoid those processed foods as much as you can. It's most of it turns into sugar in your body immediately, and your body doesn't need it and doesn't know what to do with it and stores it as fat anyway. So just be careful. You know, if you're eating those whole foods, then don't feel guilty because somebody said, well, I'm never going to eat meat. You shouldn't eat meat either. Do what's right for you. Okay. Just avoid those processed foods because we know those are not good for us. And we know that it doesn't help your body to function better. I'm not saying that I never, ever, ever have beer and I never, ever have chocolate because then that would be a lie. Because I do. Okay. I do. I just try not to eat it every single day or drink beer all the time. You know, I don't use that as staples in my diet. Okay. But I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I never ever eat foods that aren't whole because, like I said, that would be a lie. But I do try the best that I can. And I'm okay with that. And you should be too. So intermediate fasting is another thing too. There are a lot of good books out there. Keto kind of touches on this as well. Keto is more of a whole food as well and low glycemic diet. Helps to lower the sugar and help with insulin response, okay? The fasting helps to clean out the digestive system. It can help to process foods better, and it can help the digestive system run better, okay? So I delve into that a little bit more into my book and also with my trainings too. The average American consumes 140 pounds of sugar in a year. That's 3 pounds a week, okay? Only 10% of your daily intake should really be from sugar, all right? So 13.3 teaspoons of sugar a day. The current average is 42.5 teaspoons of sugar per day. They are hidden everywhere. But again, the processed foods will have it more so. I'm not worried about the natural sugars that are in whole foods like fruits and vegetables and milk sugars even. I'm not worried about that, or dairy. It's the stuff that's in the processed foods, the stuff that's added in extra that doesn't come naturally in the food, but it's added extra. So, okay, there's sugar in strawberries, right? And one strawberry, you know, by itself, that's fine. But if you're going to dip it in sugar and then eat it, that's an added sugar, okay? So these are some of the things to look for when you're looking at labels. Sugar, glucose, even honey. I know everybody tells you that, but honey's better for you because it has vitamins. It does have some, yes, but it's still sugar. Your body's going to see it no different, not much different than what it sees table sugar as. Okay? If you're eating extra of that and putting it in your items, in your foods, if it's too much for your body, guess what? It's still going to go into fat stores. It's still going to cause a spike in insulin. All right? Maybe not as much as some of the other things like corn syrup, but it still can cause a spike. All right? So use it moderately. But all of these different sweeteners are added sweeteners, and they can be in that label that's on any of the processed food. Okay, fructose is usually a more natural sugar. It comes in fruit, but again, you know, if all you're eating is fruit, it's going to still raise that glycemic index, that insulin response more so. Okay. Key 5, exercise. I'm not telling you to run a marathon, okay? Because things that I've looked at, even it's not, people who run marathons habitually don't seem to have more healthy bodies than other people do. Okay, so just because you're running marathons, don't think that you have the best health in the world, because it's probably not happening. But I'm talking daily exercise, something that just help you move, because it can increase programmed cell death. Okay, so that means it can contribute to that cancer cell death too. All right. So aim for 30 minutes a day, at least 2.5 hours a week. Make a game out of it. You know, say, okay, I got two hours this week. Next week, I'm going to make it 2.25 hours. You know, I'm going to add another 10 minutes here or another 10 minutes there. And before you know it, you're exercising every day and it's becoming a habit. Okay. Key 6, supplements. I wanted to drive, not just survive. All right. During my whole cancer treatment, I used supplements and essential oils through the whole thing. I made sure that my doctor knew what I was using. She saw the ingredient list on all the supplements that I was using and approved of what I was using the whole entire time. My philosophy and my advice to people who are going through any kind of health issue, that if your doctor tells you that you absolutely cannot do any supplements whatsoever, even vitamins and minerals, I seriously would find another doctor. Because there's a lot of research out there that getting the right supplements and nutrients for your body does not interfere at all with chemotherapy and radiation. Okay, there is no study out there that has linked that at all. So, and really you're doing a disservice to yourself, because chemo, if you're not using supplements, because chemo wipes out everything. It wipes out all the good bacteria in your body. It wipes out so much, and it just plummets your immune system down to nothing. Okay. That's why they tell you that you're immune compromised when you're going through cancer treatments. That's why. So without rebuilding that in between those treatments, you are leaving yourself wide open to anything that could happen, you know, and you're feeling drained and tired and just, ugh. And it's because your body's being wiped out and it's not getting what it needs. For me, I wasn't tired all the time. I didn't have the severe fatigue like a lot of people have. And I think it's because I did give my body the extra supplements that it needed. So the vitamins, the minerals, because let's face it, even on, you know, when you're feeling great, it can be a challenge to eat right and get all the things that you need. And a lot of our foods don't have the nutrients in it that they used to years ago. A lot of our foods are picked early before they ripen on the vine so that they can be shipped all over the world. So yeah, we can eat them, but guess what? That means they don't have the nutrients in it that they would have gotten right before they ripened on the vine. So that's another reason why we don't get everything that we need from what we eat. But especially if your diet is not really good, you especially need to supplement, right? Your body needs things. For brain fog, omega-3s, the body needs those. Your brain needs fat to function. Seriously, if you're having a lot of brain fog and you can't concentrate, you can't focus, it's probably because you don't have enough omega-3s. Omega-3 fatty acids are needed. They come in fish and some plant sources and some nuts. Unfortunately, most of the Western diet is high in omega-6 fatty acids, which are animal fats, some other vegetable fats as well. So the thing is that omega-6, getting too much of that can raise inflammation throughout the whole body. So here you're sitting with omega-6s up here, and maybe your omega-3s are down here. They're supposed to be even for the body to function optimally. Most likely, it's like this for most people. So you need to pay attention and get that evened out for the body to function right. And if you've got the brain fog and you can't concentrate, that's your body telling you you're not getting what you need, okay? Vitamins and minerals, I took those as well. That alpha CRS is a cellular blend. Because of some of the herbs that were in there, it was recommended that I not take it during chemotherapy because it can help the chemotherapy to be, the body won't shed it quickly enough, and it can be more intense. So because of those herbs can inhibit things. So I was taking it in the beginning and I noticed that I had a lot of leg pain, really bad leg pain. When I brought it up to my doctor, they took a more deeper look at it and said, you know, maybe you should back off on this. It's probably what is causing it. We don't want you to take that. I didn't take it, things cleared up, and I was doing pretty good. So like I said, you know, diet is important, but in my book, I believe everybody needs to be supplementing, and you will notice a difference taking these supplements. Make sure that they are whole food supplements, okay? Avoid those one pill a day options because most of that is synthetic. That's how they can fit it into that one little pill. It's synthetic, made in a laboratory. Sometimes our body doesn't know what to do with synthetics, does not know how to use it, and has a problem storing it, and it may become toxic and do cell damage. So please avoid those. Find ones that are whole food supplements, and with my program, that's all that I provide with it, okay? I used essential oils, which are considered supplements. They are not drugs. So they do not cure or medicate or treat any diseases whatsoever. They're supplements just like vitamins and minerals are, okay? So for the essential oils, I use them for digestive support because your digestive system isn't always the best. Chemo wreaks havoc on that as well. Emotional support, big time. You know, it's an emotional roller coaster when you're going through any kind of sickness or illness, and sometimes just regular life can be that way. So I use the oils for emotional support as well. Immune support, definitely, because chemo, like I said, wipes out the good bacteria along with all the bad stuff and can kill off all kinds of things. So, and one of those is the good bacteria in the gut, and it can just bring down your immune system to nothing because it stops all fast growing cells. White blood cells are fast growing cells, okay? So it wipes that out. That's why it makes your hair fall out and makes your eyebrows fall out, because those are very fast replacing cells. They're fast acting. So, and that's what chemo looks for because that's what cancer cells do. So yeah, it can kill off the cancer cells, but then it, you know, destroys all the other ones that duplicate fast too. And your white blood cells are one of those. So supporting that immune system during that time is very key. Joint and muscular support. Chemo, and I've heard that, I did not take radiation, but I've heard that radiation can also affect joints and muscles in the body, and things can ache and not feel so good. So there are many essential oils that can help with that too, with tight muscles, relaxing things, and helping with jumpy legs and jumpy muscles. Then there's oils too for pain and inflammation. Many oils have anti-inflammatory properties to them. Frankincense is one of those. I've used frankincense every single day since I was diagnosed in March of 2018. Basically for the inflammation support, but also, for pain support too. And of course, respiratory support too, to help keep those airways open, to help with exercise and breathing exercises. The oils can be terrific for all of these things. 99% of essential oils on the market are these. They have synthetics. They can contain different ingredients than the ones that are listed on the label. They can contain alcohol and other chemicals used to distill oils. They can contain high percentages of carrier oils. They may contain weeds. They may contain bacteria or even a fungus. Some essential oils are labeled as therapeutic, meaning that they have medicinal value to them, all right? We're looking at the oils for the medicinal properties that they have in them, like an anti-inflammatory or an antibacterial. So they're supportive to the health and body. These are the oils that you want to look for, not just the ones that are for perfumes or to make something smell good. They're not going to have the good properties that you need, and most of those will be synthetic. The ones that are just used for air fresheners and perfumes, they will be synthetic and created in a laboratory. And like I said, essential oils are not drugs, and they should not be marketed to cure or treat disease. So be very wary of essential oils that make treatment claims like that. Be very wary of any supplement that makes a claim like that, okay? I just want to share with you, like I said, I heard all kinds of different things about treatments when I was first diagnosed. Everybody wanted to give me their opinion. I was out on a natural Facebook page, and there was some person that messaged me, and he said that if I drank cow urine, that would cure my cancer. I don't care if it does. There was no way I was going to do that. By the way, I found no documented evidence anywhere that really does do that. So, like I said, be careful. Any disease realm is prime for people to come and take advantage. They just prey on people who are going through different health ailments and try to convince them that their product is the miracle and it's going to do everything for them. And I've seen people who spent a lot of money on products that they thought was going to really help them, and it didn't do anything for them, and they got scammed. So be careful. Like I said, this is a realm for a lot of scammers and people who have hoax products, and the cure-all in a bottle salesman that used to drive around and sell you the bottle of their miracle cure. So just be careful out there what you're looking at and what you're buying into. Are essential oils safe for pets? Yes, they are, if they are pure. Okay, that is the thing. Be careful with any oils that might be synthetic or may have other ingredients in them, because those may not be so good for your pets. The oils that I use definitely are being used by veterinarians with their clients and with their own pets. I've used my oils around our pets for 7 years, and they've done quite well with it. I know various farmers too that are using oils with their cattle, with their horses, chickens, and it's working very well. So keep that in mind, all right? But like I said, not all oils are created equal, so be careful. More supplements. You might have heard the big buzz on CBD oil. For the last year, it's been a huge thing, okay, as the next great thing for anxiety and pain to whatever. Okay, lots of promises out there. And this is a realm too where I've heard lots of far-fetched promises out there too. So be careful. If they're telling you that they can treat or medicate anything, they shouldn't legally be saying that, okay? Even if it is true, you can't say it anyway. But just be careful, all right? You can't really say anything cures because you don't really know. Everybody's different. Everybody's going to react differently to different things, okay? So what may work well for one person may not so much for another. One thing that I found that has been very helpful that works on the same CB2 receptors as CBD oil does is copaiba. This is an oil that comes from the Amazon rainforest. It comes from a tree, and they actually drill into it similar to how you do with maple syrup, and that's how they collect the oil. So there's no cutting down of the tree or anything like that, but this is how they source the oil. And compared to CBD, it works on the same exact receptors, and it works directly on those receptors. We have receptors like that all through our body, okay? A lot of them can be found in the central nervous system. So this oil can help with different things that are related to the nervous system. So mood, emotion, pain, anxious feelings, emotional feelings. It can help support all of those areas. It does not work on the CB1 receptors, which are the ones that are psychotropic in the brain. It does not have any effect on that whatsoever, just like CBD does not. I want you to understand, though, with CBD, all CBD oils can contain THC, which is the component that works on those brain receptors that create that psychotropic high. All right. Now, in order to make CBD oil legal in all countries, they had to try and strip the THC from it. When you wash out the THC, you're also taking some of the CBD and other elements out of that oil. Okay. So you can drastically reduce the CBD components and elements that are in that oil as well while you're taking the THC out. So there have been some testing of different oils that from batch to batch, they can vary dramatically. Like one batch will be 10% CBD. The next one might be 20%. The next one might be 0. And it's hit or miss. There's really not a lot of consistency to it when you're making the oil like this, okay? Sometimes they will make isolate of CBD, which basically, they are creating it in a laboratory and adding it to the oil. So it's a synthetic form as well. So be careful of those two. And, because it's a supplement, it's not regulated. So if the company is really not testing it, or they're testing it and not getting the results that they hoped for, they don't have to tell you that. They can still sell it. So, and you would never know. That's why, there are some CBD brands out there that they have found trace amounts of THC in them yet. Because if you're under a certain percentage, you can say that it's 0%, even though it's not. Now, if you're in the realm of a job where you can't have any drugs in your body whatsoever, like if you're a truck driver, or if you work with the police force, or you work with children and they do drug testing on a regular basis to make sure that you're clean, you can actually fail one of those tests and lose your job. So you need to be very, very careful when dealing with this stuff, okay? And like I said, there are charlatans everywhere, not only with essential oils, but with CBD oil as well, that they know that their product really isn't what they say it is, but they're going to sell it to you anyway, and for a lot of money, because they know you're desperate to find something. All right. So they wash that THC out. The consistency, like I said, is hit or miss. It can be vary from batch to batch. They go from several different farm areas. It's not always from the same exact place that they're sourcing from. That matters, okay? Because you're getting different soil, different weather conditions, different things that might be added to it, like pesticides, things like that. So your content is going to be different for every different farm and every different location that you go to. It can be very different. So sourcing is mainly done through brokers. So they're the middleman. So you may not even know exactly where that oil came from. It could have come from many different places and got all mixed together. You don't know, right? And the price for 15 mil varies. I've found some out there for like as cheap as $25 all the way up to $140 and more. So it depends on where you look. Copaiba, there's no drug content. You don't have to worry about anything that needed to be filtered out. With the company that I go with, and you can see the one up there, we use the same farms every time. We private contract with the farmers. There's no brokers involved. 98% of our farmers source only to us. Okay, so if another company says they have exactly the same thing that we do, chances are that is not true at all. All right, because these farmers only source to us. They don't source to any other company. The price for 15 mil for us is $35. And there's 250 drops in that bottle. And for most people, they can get the relief they're looking for anywhere from 2 to 4 drops a day. So it's been very, very helpful for a lot of people. Key number 7, rest and stress. How many of us get the sleep we want? I know I didn't. Sometimes I still have issues with that, okay? But I want you to remember this. Cellular repair only happens when you sleep. That's when your body rejuvenates things and repairs the damage that was done during the day just from breathing even, okay? Now, if you're one of those warriors that says, oh, who sleeps? I get 3 hours a night. That's plenty enough. It's not. You need to have at least, 7 to 8 hours consistently to be able to have the repair that you need, okay? You're not doing yourself any favors by trying to function with only 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night. You will eventually make yourself sick by doing this because your body needs that time to rejuvenate, okay? So, I mean, if some of you are having a problem falling asleep, or maybe you're having a problem staying asleep, falling back to sleep, sometimes something as simple as just a citrus oil diffused in the bedroom can help you to fall asleep and can help you to fall back to sleep and stay asleep. Just because it helps with anxious feelings. And if it's the anxiousness and the anxiety that's keeping you awake at night, something as simple as that can help to calm you and help get you back to sleep or help you fall asleep. I have lots of different options for that. So here's my tiger. Isn't he cute? Fight or flight, okay? Oops, I didn't want to do that. So fight or flight, there it is. I want you to imagine for a moment that here's Neanderthal me. I'm wearing my deer skin cloth and I have my little bucket and I'm out picking berries. And I'm eating berries while I'm picking them because let's face it, nobody just picks berries and doesn't eat them. Okay, that just doesn't happen, at least not in my world, it doesn't. So I'm eating berries and I'm digesting away and I'm picking and all of a sudden I hear a growl behind me. Here's my friend. And his idea is he's gonna have me for lunch. What happens in my body? My eyes tell my brain there's danger, you need to run, be scared, something's about bad to happen. Your brain takes over without you even really thinking about it. It tells your heart to start beating faster. It tells the body to send all the blood from the vital organs and the blood that's helping my stomach to digest food, it shifts it all to my legs and my arms so that I can run. It shuts down digestion and all other non-vital things so that I can get away from the tiger, run to safety. So I take off running, I get back to my cave, tiger goes off to play with some squirrels, and I start calming down. My heart starts slowing down, blood starts flowing back, and I start to digest my berries again. Perfect, right? My body worked the way it was supposed to work. The only problem is with that is nowadays we see a tiger everywhere we look. We don't even have to look. We don't even have to see anything. And the tiger's still there because our mind is thinking that there's danger. Our mind is stressing, how are we going to pay this bill? How are we going to do this? I don't know about that. This happened, that happened. I don't know what to do. What if this happens? What if that happens? And see, it doesn't even have to be the tiger there anymore. But you know what? You're still getting the fight or flight response because your brain is still telling your body to have your heart beat faster and to pull all the blood away from non-essential body systems. So is it any wonder that so many people have digestive issues these days? And it's because our brain has just taken over. Our body does whatever the brain tells it to without us even thinking about it anymore. That's happening and we can't control it. Okay, it's releasing all of these stress hormones because it thinks we need it, because it thinks there's an actual tiger waiting outside the door ready to devour us, when really there isn't one there anymore. Okay, this worked great for Neanderthal Jeannie, but not so much for everyday 2020 Jeannie. So the most important key that I have for you, we went through 7 of them. This is the most important one, and I want you guys to pay attention to this, all right? Because this is what helped me the most and still is helping me. Key number 8, dealing with the baggage. And this is what I mean when I mean dealing with the baggage. What you believe from whatever happened to you in the past is what you will receive. And that is fact. All right? Imagine you're gonna cross a street. There's some great things happening across the street. Your friends are over there, they're doing great things. You're gonna cross the street, you're not even thinking about it. But as soon as you step out, bam, here comes a car. Almost runs you over, you fly back up on the sidewalk, your heart's beating fast, you're breathing really deep, and you're like, I'm never stepping off the curb again because look what almost happened to me. That is way too dangerous to cross that street and go do whatever they're doing over there. I'm never doing it again. How many of us have done that? You know, something almost happened or it was a bad experience, so therefore I'm never doing it again. Because you know as soon as you step off that curb, a bus is going to come along next time and wipe you out. You just know it. So therefore, you've already made up your mind, you're not doing it. Guess what? The world doesn't stop just because you did. You know, your friends are still going to be over there, and they're still going to be enjoying life, and they're still going to be enjoying the things that you really want to have. Okay? And the world's going on without you, whether you're there or not. Just because you're too terrified to get off that curb doesn't mean that the world's going to stop. So for me, I would find myself saying things like, well, you know, being over there wouldn't make me happy anyway. Things are okay here, just the way they are. I'm fine. I could never handle all that work anyway. I'd rather go without than fail and risk losing everything. It would probably take too much time away from my family. I'll never lose weight or find time to exercise. I'll never have enough money. And I tried that once and it didn't work, so never again. As well as, why can't I have that? Maybe you haven't felt yourself saying those things, but I know I did. And I'll tell you why. What you believe, you will receive. The universe will deliver whatever you believe in. So if you believe that crossing that street is going to get you run over, most likely it will happen because you believe it in your mind. If you believe that money is bad because someone told you that being rich means that you're a jerk or you're selfish or self-centered and it's a bad thing, then guess what? Money will never come to you because you believe it's bad. You've already made up your mind. You believe it's bad, so that's why it's never going to come to you. Making a connection yet? 97% of the thoughts you have today are the same as yesterday. And 80% of those thoughts, you guessed it, are negative. Our bodies naturally believe the mind as if it were the voice of God. So whatever your mind is saying, your body's reacting to it. So our perceptions are built on subconscious beliefs. Most of them stem from our past and all of that baggage that I was telling you about. Family influences can make a difference. Religious teachings, societal conditions, past traumatic experiences can all have to do with how you are feeling emotionally, how negative your thoughts are, or how positive your thoughts are. So if you were brought up that, well, the beginning of the month is great, you have money for everything, but by the end of the month, you're broke. Guess what's going to happen? Every single month, you're going to have money the first couple of weeks, and you're going to be broke the next 2 weeks. Because you already believe that's what's going to happen. So it's going to happen. You will subconsciously be doing things to make it happen without even realizing it, because your mind is convinced of it. Let's say that, you tried to do something and you got really sick, or you got injured, or somebody else got hurt. Right away, you've decided that you can no longer do that thing or be that way because, look, someone got hurt. It's dangerous, it causes problems, even if it doesn't. That's what you're going to say. And that's what you're going to believe. So you're never going to try and do something again. Like you try to open up a business. You're thinking, okay, this is what I want to do for a business. I want to make XYZ and open up my storefront, and it's going to be great. About a month into it, someone in your family gets sick and they're in the hospital, and it's touch or go. Nobody's there to be in your storefront. Your business is going to have to close up now because it's losing money hand over fist. Now, in the future, someone comes to you with this great idea and says, let's go into business together. And you're like, nope, because the last time I tried to do that, so-and-so got sick and it was awful, and I just know something bad's going to happen again the minute I try to do something like that. So I'm not even going to waste my time. So you've already decided that that's what's going to happen. Eventually, it can get to a point where every single thing in this little picture is your tiger. Everything. You start stressing and worrying about every single thing in your life because you think it's the tiger. Worry, 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 worry. Even about things that never happen. Your body's reacting this whole entire time to all of this. You start seeing things with a fog, and there's really no reality to it. So you're looking through a lens of past trauma. You're looking through bad things that happened to you and for you and with you and against you and everything in your past that was ever bad. So we end up living life through this lens that these old traumas are still being experienced. They're still there. They are still there. So, we can't ever have the one on the right. We can't have the things that we want. So much of these subconscious complexes are actually the root of chronic health challenges, because all of this negativity can create cell damage and can create poor health. Think about this. Let's say you discipline your child. They've done something, and you take away a cell phone or something as a discipline. You might hear your child might say, "You don't love me," or you might even hear, "I hate you." What do you begin to believe in your mind? Especially if you hear this more than once. "I must be a bad mom. I wouldn't say that if I was a good mom." And you start doubting everything that you've ever done and everything that you ever do in the future. And you start actually believing, "I must be a bad parent. Otherwise, they would do this. They would say that." That was me. But I also believed that spending money on myself was selfish. So, going and getting a massage because I knew that I was really, really stressed out and I needed to relax and I needed time away. Yeah, I can't do that because, that would be selfish. That money could be spent on the family or somewhere else. I don't deserve that. I don't need that. I also believed that relaxing and taking a break meant I was lazy, because that is what I was taught as a child. Society taught me that. Everywhere I looked, if you didn't do what you needed to do, or if people didn't see you as being productive, no matter who they were, like their opinion mattered, but if they didn't think I was doing enough or being enough, well, then you were lazy. You didn't just go and take a nap because you were tired and your body was exhausted. Oh, no. That meant you were lazy, right? Or at least that's how it was for me. Okay. And then I was to a point where, if someone did something or they didn't do what I expected them to do, well, then that meant I wasn't important. I'm just on the back burner all the time. Nobody cares. Otherwise they would have did this, or they would have said that, or they would have done this for me, or said this to me. So they must not care. I must not be worth very much then. I was basing my worth on what everybody else did or didn't do, when really they have nothing to do with it. I'm worthy all on my own. But does this sound familiar? I can't be the only one that's ever thought like this. Okay, because I've listened to enough self-help tapes and stuff that, yeah, I know there's other people that thought like this. So I started to realize after all of my trip through cancer that I was really the one that was putting myself on that back burner. I was really the one that was deciding that I wasn't important. I had already decided that. So therefore, my needs were ignored. And not just by everybody, but by myself. Because I was ignoring them, everybody else thought they weren't that important either. But you see, I don't need somebody else to tell me that I'm good at something or that I'm worthy of something, because I was made that way. And nothing anybody says or doesn't say or doesn't do makes a difference. It cannot change that. It's a constant, okay? Just like my dog is a dog. There's nothing that can make him not a dog, okay? He is genetically a dog. He can't be a cat, you know? So that's just the way we are. We were made to be good. We were made to be worthy. That's how we were all born. It doesn't matter what happens around us. We don't need someone else's approval to make us be worthy. Do you get it? I want you to keep in mind, though, that whatever you're thinking, you may be influencing other people to think the same way. So do you realize that many times it's not just you that you're holding back with your limiting beliefs? Negative thoughts create negative emotions. Negative emotions cause stress hormones like cortisol to be released, which over time can damage healthy cells. True fact. Okay, scientific fact. Now we go back to that 80% of your thoughts are negative. How much damage can that be doing to your body over time? Not just for a day or two, but let's say you add, 365 days together and then you multiply that by 5 or 10 years. What can all of that do to healthy cells? Can we actually be causing some of our own health issues and causing breakdown of our body just with our thoughts? There is science that is actually proving that. We're building negative pathways all the time. Here's an example. Life is like driving a wagon. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I believe in a spiritual power. I believe in Jesus Christ. I am a Christian, all right? So he is my spiritual power. He is the answer, okay? So here's me in my little wagon. Actually, it's pretty big, but here's me in my wagon. God's the horse, okay? Jesus is the horse, all right? The reins that I'm holding in my little hands are my free will, okay? I can direct that horse or my wagon anywhere I want to. The wagon's my life. I can direct my life anywhere I want to on my own. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking across the street and I'm like, oh, I want that life. I want more money. I want to be more successful. I want to be a better parent. I want to be a better spouse. I want things like this to happen. So God says, all right, if this is what you want, you got to get off this path. You got to go over here. So the horse leads me over to the right, and I am now on this path that's not so beaten down, and it's really rough, and it's rocky, and it's full of holes, and my wagon's bouncing all over the place, and I almost fall out of it and smash my head. So I grab those reins and I pull it back up on my nice smooth road, and I'm like, I am not doing that anymore. I almost died. It's not worth it. I know I hate my life up here. I'm not real happy with any of it, but I'm going to stay here because it's way more comfortable than over there. Way more. Why? Because guess what? We like predictable. Our brain loves predictable. It doesn't like change. So anytime there's a little bit of change, nope, we're going to come back over here. Even though we are so unhappy with how things are going over here. And we're constantly wanting better and wanting more for ourselves and wanting change. But yet when change gets to be a little bit difficult, suddenly our mind says, nope, we're not doing this. And then our mind gets to a point where it's like, you know what? I'm never doing that again because every time I do, look what happens. So you end up on that beaten path. Are you happy? No. But hey, it's better than falling off and smashing on the head, just saying. And we continue to be unhappy. So dealing with obstacles, because anytime you're going to try and change those pathways in your brain, you are going to find obstacles. There will always be obstacles. Even if you think you have everything figured out, things will get thrown right in front of you. That car will come speeding out of the corner of your eye and try to run you over. And you need to get past that thinking that if I step off the curb, that's going to happen. You need to create different pathways. It's not going to be easy because, like I said, your brain likes predictable. So here are some things that you can count on. All right. Eating right isn't always going to be easy. Money is never not an issue, okay? All this information will feel confusing and overwhelming at some point. There is never enough time for anything. You have to make that time, okay? Time isn't going to magically come out of nowhere, okay? You are the one that's in control of that. Other people who have not been in your shoes will not understand, and that's true. I love all my friends and family dearly, but sometimes they didn't know what to say. So, they would try and say things that they thought were going to make me feel better because they didn't really understand what I was going through. They can't possibly understand that because they've never been through it. I had some very deep respect and apologized to some of my friends who had been through cancer before I had, because I completely did not understand what they were going through until I went through it. And I had a far different appreciation for them after that. So, and it doesn't have to be cancer. Anything in your life, the loss of a loved one, or, if your home burns down. If you've never been through that, you can't possibly understand the emotions and the feelings that are going through somebody's mind when stuff like that happens. So just try and be understanding, but also be understanding, when it's you in that spot and other people aren't understanding it. It's just that you don't know what you don't know. Okay. And I just went too far forward. So when the herd is all running towards the cliff, the one running in the opposite direction is always the one that looks like the crazy one. So will you be the one running in the opposite direction, even when everybody's pointing fingers going, you're nuts, she's nuts, he's nuts, don't follow him, don't know what they're doing, we're all going this way? Are you going to be the one that goes down that different path? Or are you going to be the one that keeps going down that same old path and complaining every day and being unhappy every day because you don't have what you wanted? Your choice, okay? It's always your choice. You are not a victim. You're not. You don't have to be. So I want to share this with you. This is something new that my company has just come out with. It's called a Mindfulness App. Okay, mindfulness can actually boost your immune system. It's not exactly meditation. Okay, when I learned a year or so ago that meditation doesn't mean that you're clearing your mind of everything and you're just not doing anything or not thinking about anything. I tried to do that. Never works. Never works. Okay. Mindfulness is different. If you're sitting here and you close your eyes, it's like, what do you hear? What do you hear? Do you hear a distant dog barking somewhere? Do you hear the wind blowing and creaking of the house? If you're sitting with your eyes open and just in quiet, what are you seeing? What colors are you looking at? Just be. You want to be wherever you are. That's what it's about. So that you can focus in on your body and focus in on how it's feeling and what it's doing, and focus in on how you can make things different. Okay? This app helps a lot. It has actual biomarkers that go with your voice. Okay, the fluctuation in your voice, the linguistics, and spectral features that are unique to different diseases. Okay, it pairs that up with the fluctuations in your voice and your voice patterns. And it can actually pinpoint when there's disease that is going on in the body. Because you know what? Stress causes disease. Negative thoughts causes disease. Okay? So you have to pay attention to that. This can actually help you course correct. So if you're going a certain way, maybe there's things that you can do differently that can course correct and help you to make a more positive approach and help you to actually support your immune system rather than breaking it down. All right? So this is a phenomenal approach. It comes in an app that can be right on your device. And I've been using it for about 5 days now. And I really think it's been making a huge difference for me, helping to calm the mind and helping me to refocus on things, okay? So they use models to identify human conditions in individuals without the need of pre-obtained speech data. Hey, cool, huh? So it is really a new wave of being able to focus on changing those pathways and making positive changes in your life and getting rid of the things that are stopping you from getting to where you want to be across that street. All right? Helping you to build more positive brain pathways and getting rid of those negative ones. Because once you stop using those negative ones, they start to disappear. That's another science thing. So, system overview. The goal is to obtain a highly accurate judgment of health condition in the speaker. Okay. How many times, does your friend call you up? You can't even see their face, you just hear their voice. And you can tell immediately just by the tone of their voice and how they're speaking what kind of mood they're in. You can tell almost immediately if something has happened that's traumatic for them, if they're upset or if they're not feeling well. You can tell just by hearing it in their voice. This is how this app works. And it can actually, like I said, be put up against different health ailments, and you can actually tell when there's matches, and this app will help you to see that. Okay, so score of 100 indicates absolute certainty of a disease somewhere in the body. Okay, so it's going to give you a score based on reading certain things into the app. And then you can also then do some of the mindfulness processes that are in there. There's different things, different lengths of things that you can do in there that listen to, and different activities, mindfulness activities that you can do. And then you can then put your voice pattern in again afterwards, reading the same exact thing. And the app will be able to tell if you've actually changed the outlook and changed, if your voice patterns have actually changed at all, and what you just did helped or hindered you. Okay, once you find what helps you, that's something you can do at any time to help the body obtain that healthy, wonderful you. All right, here's another thing that I learned. It's called emotional freedom tapping, or EFT. Okay, this helps also to create new neural pathways in the mind, more positive ones. So it works on the meridian lines throughout the body, Chinese medicine that's used for acupuncture and acupressure. All right, there are certain spots on the body that coincide with different organs and different body systems throughout the body. Okay, so one thing that you can do, and you can do this with me, okay, it's a process. So you're going to focus on something that you really want to change, something, a belief pattern that you want to instill that goes against an old negative one that you don't want anymore. All right, this is just one that I picked because it resonated with me. I expect nothing, but I accept everything. Okay, so you're going to start by taking either one finger or two fingers. I like to do two, and right in between the eyebrows, and you're going to say, I expect nothing and I accept everything. I expect nothing and I accept everything. Right? Then on the side of the eye, it doesn't matter what side you're doing this on, by the way, or which hand you're using. I like to use the one I write with. On the side of your eye, do the same thing. I expect nothing and I accept everything. I expect nothing and I accept everything. Then under the eye, right on the cheekbone, I expect nothing and I accept everything. I expect nothing and I accept everything. Under the collarbone, Again, either side, whichever's easier. I expect nothing and I accept everything. I expect nothing and I accept everything. And then you grasp your wrist at the end. And then really, take a look at on the inside, what is your body doing? How is it reacting? Are you calmer? Is your heart rate slower? Is your breathing better? Or maybe you're feeling a little more anxious. Then maybe you might want to repeat this again until that feeling changes. And once your brain gets to a point where it builds that new pathway, it's kind of like going through a one-way door. You go one way, but now you know better. You know better, you know more. There's no going back. You can't go back to that point of not knowing. So your brain can't go back to that old pathway because you've awakened and now you know the truth. So you can't go back, right? So that's worth, looking more into. There's more information out there. I can help you with that as well. Okay, just to finish up, guys, empower yourself. No matter what you're going through, empower yourself, okay? You are in control of you and only you. You can't control what everybody else does. Don't even bother trying because it's not going to work. You control you. Accept them the way they are, but you control you. You can't change them, okay? Empower yourself. You are not a victim of everybody else. You're not. This is the book that I wrote last year, all right? Fighting Breast Cancer, Navigating Natural Remedies Combined with Chemotherapy, okay? And I wrote it because I want to help empower other people and to know that you have a choice, okay? So do you want personalized help applying the 8 keys that you just heard about tonight or that you read about in my book, because they're outlined in there too, to the natural remedies that you discovered, okay? You can do these, you can incorporate these right in your own home. Do you want help doing that? Because that's what I do. That is what I do, all right? Because I know it's not always easy to try to do things all on your own. If you want to, please grab my book on Amazon. It's out there on Kindle. You can download it, an ebook of it, or you can get the physical book itself. And you can read through it, get those guidelines out there, get the information, and then go from there on your own if that's truly what you want to do. And there are some people that are like that. They can read an outline and say, you know what, I can do this. I know how to do, I can do this. And they go on their own. That's great. That's perfect. But there's going to be some of you that were like me for a while, where it's like, you know what, I like this outline, I really want to do this, but I really need some help doing this. I'm not so sure I can really do this on my own yet. That's where I come in. All right, begin your journey to wellness and save over 10% during the pre-launch period, okay? The 8-week program will include one-on-one personalized chats with me each week. There's a total of 8 of them. Weekly videos detailing each of the 8 keys. A 3-month supply of nutritional supplements to fight chemo side effects while supporting your immune system, emotions, hormones. Please check with your medical provider if you are going through any health issues right now or you're under the care of a physician. It's best to do that before you ever take any supplements, okay? But these nutritional supplements will be whole food, and they are some of the same ones that I used when I was going through my little cancer trip, I like to call it. There's a starter kit to help you remove toxins from your personal care and your cleaning cabinet. There are educational classes to download, including reflexology, Reiki, essential oils. Again, these are some of the things that I used during my whole trip, and also I still do today. And they really help to support my health. 25% discount on all nutritional supplements for up to 9 months after the program ends, and 1 free autographed paperback copy of my book as well for you to take home and read. If, however, you decide to open my program within the next 5 days, 5 days from now, which today is the 20th, 5 days from viewing this, I will also include that mindfulness app as well that you will be able to download, and that is a $75 value right there. So, and that can be immensely helpful to change some of those thought patterns that you may have, those negative ones that you may have. So, like I said, you can save 10% now during my pre-launch. That's not going to last forever, but it's there right now for you. So I am so glad that you joined me. I really am. And I hope, sincerely hope that this has helped you and that you can move forward knowing that you're not a victim. You are empowered. You are wonderful, just the way you were created. And nobody's ever going to change that. Nobody. They can't, because it's a fact. All right? So reach out to me. You can find me at dreamsofgenie.com. You can also find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook as well, Dreams of Genie LLC Wellness Advocate. Contact me through any of those if you have questions. And if you want to get started on my program to really start changing your health around and to get rid of some of that emotional baggage that's been plaguing you and affecting your health, then please reach out to me. I would love to help you. All right. It's been great, guys. I will talk again soon. We will see you on the next Wellness Wednesday. Enjoy.